Guys, I am sweating to death out here in the southern heat. We are well into AC season and we have a slew of Subaru air conditioning failures to address. In today's video specifically, we've got this 2013 Outback in for a new compressor, new system, flush out, all of that due to a weak failing compressor. And just yesterday, my mom's 2014 Forester's compressor blew up, literally burn up. Seized up clutch, fire, smoke, all the 9 yards. That aftermarket compressor the previous owner put on the car 2 years ago is absolutely done. So we'll be addressing that in a later video, but today we're gonna be working on this 13 Outback. So let's go ahead and jump into it and get this old compressor off and get some cold air blowing once again, because I am tired of sitting out here dripping in sweat. So guys, most of you probably recognize this vehicle. We've worked on it in several videos in the past. Now, the AC concern has been going on for about a year in this car. We weren't getting good cold vent temperatures. Checked it multiple times for leaks. The refrigerant level was correct. It was not leaking. Checked everything that I knew to check. Pressures were the giveaway here on this issue. Low side pressure was a little bit high. High side pressure was a little bit low. Checked with the scan tool because this is a variable displacement compressor. There is no electromagnetic clutch here. This thing constantly spins. There's a solenoid in here that moves inside to vary the displacement or output of this compressor. So the deal was, we looked at the duty cycle of the compressor and it was like 95% maxed out. And with the scan tool as well, we looked at the evap core temperature and it was only getting like 60 degrees. We would expect high 30, low 40 degree temperatures from the evaporator, but this compressor maxed out 95% duty cycle as much as it could push, was not getting that evaporator core cooled down. So we have a weak compressor here. Now what we're going to do is replace that. Since likely there is debris from this failure throughout the system, we're going to be replacing our AC condenser. They're pretty hard to flush out, get those metal chunks, contaminants, and particulates out so it doesn't circulate back into the new compressor and wreck it as well. We'll be blowing out our lines, our high side and low side line here, and the metal line all the way back around here. We will be replacing our thermal expansion valve back there just in case there's debris and contaminants in it, and we will be flushing our evaporator core. So flush the evaporator core, new thermal expansion valve, flush our lines, new compressor, new condenser, and we should be good to go. The Denso compressor on this is a Denso compressor. We have a Denso compressor here. Now, I could have bought this from Subaru and it would have cost a lot more money, but trying to save the customer some cash, we went ahead and got the Denso compressor from Denso unbranded, which again, the factory Subaru compressor is a Denso. So this is the exact factory part. This is not aftermarket. It's just straight from the OE manufacturer. As far as the condenser, we went with a Denso condenser as well. Instead of getting one from Subaru, it saved us about 200 bucks on the condenser. The compressor was about $300 in savings, and the thermal expansion valve, they're fairly cheap, but we went ahead and got a Denso anyway because, as you can see right there, Denso from the factory, this is a full Denso system. So why skip the high prices and not just get it from the original manufacturer. Also have a new Subaru serpentine belt. This one's seen some better days, got some cracking and stuff like that. So we're going to replace that while we're in there. With that said, let's go ahead and get to it. We've already evacuated the system. So now all we got to do is start taking our lines off, unbolt our compressor, and start pulling these components apart, flushing and replacing. All right, so as I said, we've already evacuated the system. We have no pressure in here. We can work on everything safely and not have to worry about anything blowing up in our face. First off, we're going to go ahead and get this serpentine belt off. Which, due to having a new one, we're not going to be reusing anyway. kind of tuck these AC lines out of the way. Don't want to bend them too much. Get this wiring out of the way. Actually, we should go ahead and disconnect the negative battery terminal and take that lug off the alternator just so we can get this whole wiring harness out of our way. We'll just swing that wiring harness out of the way. Swing that bracket over. And start unbolting our compressor. Now the great thing about new Denso compressors, they come preloaded from the factory with the correct type of and amount of refrigerant oil for the entire system. So once you've flushed out everything from the old system, you can just bolt the new compressor on, turn it over by hand to get that oil distributed through the system, charge it and go. You don't have to worry about measuring anything or pouring oil in the condenser or the evaporator core and the lines or trying to calculate any of that stuff. It's all kind of preset by Denso, which is really, really nice. So this should come right up now. And we can get our new compressor out and put it in place. Actually, before we set that new compressor in here, let's go ahead and get this condenser. It's been a while since I've done one on this body style, so I can't remember if we can get it out without taking the entire bumper cover off or not, but I think we can sneak it out. I'd really rather that than having to take the whole bumper cover off, but we shall see. If we can just take the top of the grill and these push pins loose at the top and kind of pull it back out of the way. Geez, I hate these aftermarket bumper clips. That's why I always keep like 25 or 30 of the Subaru genuines. These old cheap ones just don't work well. So let's see if we can get in there like this. Don't think we can pull out the front. I think if we knock the two upper radiator bolts loose here and pull these feet off, I think we can tilt the radiator back and sneak it out. Or I think we can actually unbolt the top of this radiator support and get it out that way. All right, we got the feet off. The radiator can scooch a little bit. There's a bunch of crap in here anyway we need to blow out between the radiator and condenser, so that's nice. Looks like we can. Two 12s on the side here. Help if I was going the right way. Get those out of there. All right, so just pop the grill out just to make it a little bit easier to show you guys and a little more accessible for me. But we got a tin on either side of the radiator support. And that should release our upper mounts, and it does. Then down here we got the tin for one of the lines. Sorry if my head's in the way right now. Get the one line out down there. And then the other one, we got to access from the side of the condenser over here. And I believe it's a 12 instead of a 10 millimeter. But after that, we should be able to just pull it up between radiator support and radiator. And I can show you all that junk that's built up between the radiator and the condenser, restricting flow and hindering the cooling and air conditioning system. All right, now we should be able to pull the condenser out. We can get these little mounting feet at the top out and around. And just like so. We got the old condenser out. Now this one isn't too bad. I've seen a lot of them that are just beat all to pieces, all these fins that are destroyed at the bottom. This one's actually pretty decent. But now I can show you what I'm talking about. On the radiator, we got all the buildup from like grass clippings and all kind of junk just kind of hanging out in there. So as you can see right there, we got a big blockage there. We need to get our IPA air comb and blow all of this mess out, because that radiator has seen better days, that's for sure. And we even got a little dragonfly. All right, so we got the radiator as flushed out and blown out as we possibly can. Probably needs a new radiator just from age. It looks like this is the original one, 200 and something thousand miles. It's already starting to get a little discolored up here. These are known for the top tanks, the plastic cracking on them. So, I mean, a radiator is probably going to be in their near future. But we got most of that blown out. Got the high side hose off, already have flushed it with the AC flushing system. It's ready to reinstall when we get everything back in here. So now we got to do is flush this line back to the thermal expansion valve, take it off, replace it, and flush out the evaporator, and we should be good to reassemble and charge. All right, let's get back here and get this thermal expansion valve taken loose. All right, so 4 millimeter grip edge RPT socket in here. And get this knot loose. Probably go ahead and take this hose off completely and flush it separately. And then the smaller hose or line we'll have to flush in place, because it kind of wraps around and goes down the frame rail and a little tricky to get out with the engine in place. Go ahead and there's a lot of oil in there. Got the old Knipex pocket cobras. And pop the old thermal expansion valve off of there. We do have a little bit of the old focus. A little bit of the old black def in there. I already wiped some of it out, but yeah, that's a sure sign you got some compressor failure going on. All right, guys, I've got all the lines flushed out. Everything's ready to go. We got to flush out the evaporator now. Now I've got an old piece of heater hose over the outlet here, just so all of the old oil and flushing fluid and all that stuff doesn't blow everywhere under the hood. We've got our flush in the canister. We've got it pressurized, so we'll put the nozzle up to it firmly and blast. And all of that old oil and contamination, everything just gets flushed through this hose out under the car into a collection pan. Now we'll probably go reload this one more time and blow through it again. And then we'll take our air blower, blow through each side till it comes out completely clear. Make sure we got all of that contamination out of that evaporator. All right, guys, so we've got the evaporator flushed out, dried out. All the lines are flushed out. We're ready to start putting everything back together now. So we're gonna put fresh O-rings on right here. Get our old ones off, compare the size to the new ones included. We'll put a little bit of refrigerant oil on those to lube them up and get them installed. Just like so. Take the new thermal expansion valve, pop it in place. Just like so. Get our little 4mm hex bolts, start those. We'll go grab the torque wrench for final tightening on those. All right, torque on these, 3.5 Newton meters. Now we'll go ahead and get our line back in here. And change the O-rings on the ends of those lines. New O-rings are on there. Sorry guys, just realized that your view is kind of blocked by the intake duct there. I'm going to snug that up and torque to 7.5 Newton meters. All right, so we got our new Denso condenser, a 477-0781. And we're gonna go ahead and slip it back in. Very carefully. And just like so. And we'll get our little rubber feet stuck in place. And we get our mounts in place. And we'll grab our little 10mm headed bolts and get this thing oriented the right way and tighten everything back up. All right, that should be good. We'll go ahead and get 2 new O-rings for our lines here at the condenser. All right, guys, we got the new compressor ready to go on. Now, again, a new Denso genuine compressor comes pre-filled with the full oil capacity for the entire system. We're putting a new condenser, flushed all the lines, flushed the evaporator. There's no oil in the system. All the oil is in the compressor. All we got to do is bolt it on there, and we should be to specification. If you were replacing the compressor without flushing or anything else, if you had like a clutch failure or something like that on a non-variable displacement, then you want to drain the oil from the new compressor, drain the oil from the old compressor, compare the two, and then install back into the new compressor the amount of oil that came out of the old compressor so you don't overfill the system with oil. So another tip on this, Denso says to set a new Denso compressor up on its nose for 1 to 3 minutes before installing, just so the lubricating oil can get to the front seal and seal it up. So we're ready to go ahead and bolt this on now. Set it back in place. Grab our little top bracket. And I believe we're missing a little bracket for this pigtail off the old compressor, and we are. So we'll go ahead and sneak that over now. And let's not forget to flip this over here and put that back in place. All right, we're just lacking one new O-ring for this hose right here. We'll go ahead and swap that out. And once we swap that out, we'll hook up our hoses to the compressor, get everything topside put together, and then we'll hook up our hoses or our lines at the condenser. Haven't done that yet because I don't want to do that till last, so we can start pulling a vacuum immediately once we've opened up the condenser, so we don't have all this humidity in the air getting into the desiccant and all that stuff in the condenser. So we'll save that to our last part. All right, we'll pull our plugs out now. We can get them to come out and pop our lines on there with those fresh O-rings. All right, all our wiring is back in place, plugged up, all good there. Swing this back around. All right, guys, so we're gonna hook up the two lines now at the condenser. We already got the AC machine hooked up. As soon as we get those lines tightened up, we're gonna go ahead and start vacuuming the system and checking for any leaks. So let's go ahead and get that hooked up now. All right, all our lines are hooked up. Spin the compressor over, get some of that oil circulating, open up our valves. And we'll get that vacuum going. we go. Now just to button up the front end of the car. All good there. And now we need to grab that grill and put it back in. We'll grab our new belt, 23780 AA160. So guys, while we're waiting for the vacuum to finish, we can look at the inside of our condenser here, if it'll focus. And you can see sparklies. There's some metal shavings in this filter. And also on our desiccant bag, you can see some sparkly little shiny metal pieces. Again, confirming that that compressor had some kind of issues going on mechanically with it inside. Oh, the little sparklies and the black death, as they say. All right, guys, everything's back together. We're ready to go ahead and charge. We ran a 30-minute vacuum, no leaks found. So we're just going to charge the system up. Once it's charged, start the car, check our vent temps, hook the scanner up, check our evaporator core temp, and hopefully we got nice cold air. All right, guys, we got the car running now, max AC. It is getting nice and cool in here. We're about 50 degrees. Evaporator temp is 52 and pulling down. We want to see about 34.7. So we'll let this keep running and pulling down. We're at 50. It is nice and cool. It feels great in here after being out in that hot, humid South Carolina weather all day working on this thing. Well, not all day, the last 2 hours or so. But yeah, we're in the 40s now. This thing wouldn't pull past like 59 degrees before with that old compressor. So looks like we get set on this repair. Let it run a little bit longer, go out and drive it down the road, make sure that temperature pulls on down, make sure we got those nice cold vent temps still. But looks like we're good to go. So guys, just with a little bit of idling time, that evaporator temp is 40 degrees. We want to see 39. We are right on target. And our vent temps are right at 40 degrees. It is nice and frosty in here, but I'm gonna go test drive it, make sure everything's good, and call the customer and tell them it's ready to come pick up. So guys, back from the test drive, as you can see, the windows are nice and fogged up. Air is nice and cold. We are all done on this car. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one.